Lesson for the day. For Ella and Ashlyn, it would look something like this. I have the iPad app that is 3D Literacy by Kathy Penn. I'm not sure if any of you know her. She's a really great lady. Has lots of knowledge about teaching children to read, especially children that are struggling readers. So this is her design that she came up with, and I studied with her while she was working on this project a couple years ago at POW, and she came up with this, so I got first dibs on everything that she came up with, and I will be sending some of this home with you to work on with your children at home. This is a really great way to just reinforce letter sounds, vowel sounds, what the silent E does, and also when we start working on those blends, how to blend certain letters together. So that's that. In this drawer, I would also include a reading book that maybe we'd worked on together. So maybe it's something like this where we're practicing just all the different short vowel sounds. This would be a great way to have to just reinforce that with your early readers. These books are really great because they have it already highlighted all the different sounds that they should be working on and all the words that should be sight words. So if you have a question about which words are sight words, they're already there. They're already highlighted. This is more of like a kindergarten level, I would call that. So in the off days, because you'll have days where you don't want to give the same assignment every day. You don't want your kid to have to sit down and read the same book every single day. I mean, it's good practice, but you want to change it up here and there so that they stay interested. What I would do is I would have a game like this. This is a quick little bingo game. You can have siblings play together, or you can play with your child. This bingo game comes with a little pieces, and it tells you you practice reading the words, and so the word might say nap, and so then you put a piece on nap. If you have it on your card, it might say pan. Same thing, the first person who gets a bingo wins. It also has a reverse side that is the sight word side, so you're working on just sight words when you come to this side. These are games that will be sent home throughout the school year for the homeschool co-op if you choose to be involved in that. There are also books that go along with it and some CDs that you may also see that come home for your child to work with you on. For someone like Ryder, once he starts a chapter book, he kind of has the same assignment for this drawer for several days, and it's just reading a chapter or getting as far as he can in the 15-20 minutes that I've allotted for that. I would only have one-on-one time with him, maybe 2 to 3 times a week at the most, and that's if he's having problems or struggling with a concept. Otherwise, I would kind of let him go on this, and then he would have a little report to do at the end, or a recommendation to write about the book, or maybe even record a little video about why you should read the book. So those are all ways to just kind of check comprehension for your child. Also, I mentioned earlier in the summer about the website Book Adventure, and it's www.bookadventure.com. You can set up a free account for your child. You can type in the title. It'll give you a comprehension test to make sure that your child is actually comprehending what they are reading. Then we would move on to our handwriting part of the day. One of the perks about homeschooling is you get to decide when you teach your kid to cursive write, or if you teach your child to cursive write. This is the beginnings of cursive writing, and so this would be in this drawer. Now, I would vary this. I would make several different variations of this, and sometimes we would be working on a worksheet like this, and there would be other days where we'd be writing on our chalkboard or dry erase boards. We may also write in shaving cream or whipped cream or something like that, so that there are many different ways that we're practicing this movement of the hand and getting that hand-eye coordination down. For Ashlyn, this is going to be more of a fun drawer because she's been at school already for several hours, and please remember, kindergartners only need to plan on having about 450 hours in it in the school year, so that's about half the time of everyone else. So I would keep her time fun and entertaining for her, so she might make something like this guy. You're learning about the letter O, and she made an octopus. So that is something that I would do in this drawer for her to keep her going. The last drawer is everyone's favorite, not only because it's the end of the day, but usually because there's something fun in there. There's something crafty in there usually, or an art lesson, something like that. So this was a snow picture we made, and they just stuck some styrofoam stickers onto the construction paper and made a little snow picture. Now, I did ask them when they were done to write a little sentence or two about what they made a picture about. So that is where we would end our day, and we have at that point touched on many of the subject areas. The only way I would vary this at all, well, actually I wouldn't really vary it a whole lot, but what I would do to include my social studies and my science would be to include it either in the journaling during the day. So maybe it's going out and finding a bird outside if you're studying birds and writing about that bird and finding information in your bird journal. I'm sorry, not bird journal, field guide. And then one of the other ways I might vary this would be through the last drawer. Maybe it's making a bird's nest in the last drawer so that it goes along with that bird theme. You could also incorporate something in the reading area. You could pick a nonfiction book that's about birds to practice reading on. There are several different areas and different ways that you can incorporate the science and social studies aspects of the day. I can't stress enough the importance of planning ahead. Just by taking 10 to 15 minutes at night and organizing your lessons and your assignments and getting them sorted into drawers like this, it'll make your whole day go a whole lot easier. And if for some reason you can't be down there at the start of the school day, you can always have your kids begin on drawer number 1, and they should know what to do just from repetition. How I got organized this year was just by buying one of these simple little wire racks that have hanging file folders in them. I labeled each file folder with the day of the week, and then I would go in and I would fill it up with what I wanted them to do on that particular day, and everything's right there at my fingertips. So when they're done on, well, that was Monday, so when they would be done on that Friday, I could come in that evening, empty out the drawers, and fill them back up with the new assignments for Monday, and voila, we're ready to go for the next day. So I can't stress preparation enough, because it is really going to be the key to success in homeschooling. There's going to be so many days when you wake up and you're tired, or like last year I had morning sickness, and so it was really nice to already know that my stuff was already planned out, was already done. They just had to go down and follow the steps and do their drawers. The last thing I'm going to leave you with are just a couple quick ideas to get you going and keep you going throughout the school year. Put these in your back pocket for later because you'll want them. There are many ways that you can use little tiny toys or knickknacks. Things like, I have these little guys, I don't know how well you can see them. They're little fall counters. Now, I purchased these while I was teaching. You can easily get them at the teaching store. You could also use other little toys. But these are great for patterning. So for someone like Ashlyn who's working on patterning, I would probably give her some of these and say, here, play with them for a few minutes. Now I want you to make some patterns. And I would start telling her what kind of patterns to make. And that is a quick and easy math lesson that required little to no preparation on my part. Another quick and easy idea is graphing and math. Graphing is a great way to incorporate lots of different math skills. So it may be jelly beans, it could be, you name it. Whatever you're learning about, you could come up with something that your children can make a graph for and count. We did this several times throughout the school year, and every time they had fun. A lot of times it was with candy and little snacks and treats like that. So then they would graph it, and then they would read the information off the chart, which one had the most, which one had the least, and then we would go from there. But that is, I would keep blank graph paper like that in a drawer, so when it was time to when I needed a quick math lesson and I wanted it to be something fun, I would just pull those out and fill them in so that they applied to what we were learning about. I also have the template on my computer, so I would just kind of fill in the blanks and make it apply to what we were learning about. Another great thing to do, we made these little books last year for Writer. They were math books like this. This is probably 10 days worth of work. So for those days, I already had his math lessons done, and all he had to do was just to glue them out, finish the math little paper, put it in the book, and then it has a way for him to check himself. So it would say something like, if you have 6 facts that equal 9, color the lion's nose pink. And so it has kind of a little self-checking, a little bit of a self-checking thing built into this. So those were lifesavers for me. And like I said, this is something you could leave in that math drawer for, you know, a week or two. And they're going to be learning lots of different skills from that. One last thing I want to mention before I go today are about those portfolios. I'm sure that you've already seen that, or you've already saw that you have to have a portfolio at the end of the school year that has to be assessed by a licensed teacher and then signed off on by a licensed teacher. This is how we created our portfolios. It's very simple. I just put some page protectors in, and then we started at the beginning of the year. And if they had an assignment that they were really proud of, they would go ahead and put it in the book. And so it may be something like, this is a Bible verse, spelling test. There are several different things in here. But I included things from all the different categories, from all the different subject areas, so that we could truly see growth. You can choose to organize yours any way you would like. That's just what worked for us, and it was a simple and easy way. Each Friday, made them pick something out of their finished work to include in their portfolio. So it's already ready for the end of the year. I hope this video has answered lots of questions for you, and hopefully given you some ideas about what you can do in your homeschool to make it your own. Please know that we tried several different systems before we found one that worked. This one worked last year. Doesn't mean it's going to work this year. I'm hoping it will, but we still may have to change at the beginning of this coming school year. So find what works for your family and what works for you and your schedule, and go with that. But like I said, be prepared. It will make your day go so quickly. Thanks again for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great summer.